Hey Transformers fans, it's time for another virtual read-through of Transformers Legacy, The Art of Transformers Packaging. And I didn't realize the last time we took a look at this book in part 1 that this is out of print now. It had been on Amazon for a very long time and was pretty affordable, but now that it's out of print, it's quite expensive. Hopefully it will come back into print soon. So that people aren't paying those crazy prices. But I would recommend that if you see these books pop up on Amazon, get them while the price is low, or just keep an eye, check every week or so, because I've gotten a couple of these books. There's also The Art of He-Man, Masters of the Universe, which went on sale, and I picked that up, and also some of the Mark Bellomo books, which I'll be taking a look at in the future. G.I. Joe, Star Wars Ultimate Guides, and Mark Bellomo's Transformers Ultimate Guide. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick these up, but they went on sale and I decided better to get them now while the price is low, because I'll probably regret it later on if they go out of print. So that's what I would recommend. If you're on the fence, if you're not sure, probably best to not wait, because they just might go out of print, and then what you'll have to settle for is the digital version, which is okay, but paper is actually so much nicer. So in the first one we looked at part 1, which was pages 6 to 47. In this review we will be taking a look at part 2, More Than Meets the Eye, pages 70 through 147. So we will just flip to page 70, starting with part 2, More Than Meets the Eye. And that takes me back to Toys R Us 1990, looking up at that and going, what am I looking at? It's an Action Master. Transformers that don't transform. So kind of bittersweet memories. It's cool seeing this artwork again, but it's for me it'll always be the death of G1 Transformers, the sad final gasp. There's a Pretender there too. Kind of looks like one of those jump starters actually. And one of my favorites, Power Master Optimus Prime. In box. I'm lucky enough to still own the original box. Fantastic. And we get a 2-page layout. Beautiful 2-page layout of Superion and Minosaur battling over top of Metroplex. And the order of these is kind of strange. There didn't seem to be any order last time out. They're jumping back and forth in the timeline. So these guys are 85 bots. Metroplex is a movie bot, or a shortly after the movie bot, 1986. So it's just kind of random, this whole book. And there's a nice sketch, or, well, it's a finished art piece of Blades, but it's got some of the notes on it, early draft of Blades artwork. So it's interesting to see some of the behind-the-scenes notes and stuff, like face looks too... can't really make that word out. Other advice here, gotta angle the gun. Completely redo. That's not good. No artist wants to see that. Scramble City Autobots. Got Defensor and Computron. And then you got the Aerial Bots. 1985 Autobots. All combined into Superion. And then the Protectobots on the next page. I like how they've got the limbs here, the leader in the top corner, and then the combined version all together like that. And then the Technobots. I guess they wanted to keep all the combiners all together, even though they didn't come out in the same year. Who form Computron. And then the Stunticons, who form Minosaur. I gotta say, I actually do like having all these gestalts like this all together. So I guess sometimes there is a method to their madness. Combaticons that form Bruticus. And then you got the Terracons, who combine to form Abominus. Awesome artwork. Seacons, who merge into Piranacon, one of the later Gestalts. 1987 package back. Oh, love Fortress Maximus. Fantastic. He just looks so colossal. I mean, that's Hardhead on his chest right there. You know how big Hardhead is. He's one of the bigger headmasters, so he just looks tiny. He's Fort Max is almost Unicron sized here. Nice! Early concept sketches for Power Master Optimus Prime. So they eventually went with this. That's the final design. But we've got alternate ideas. Him blasting right at you, which isn't very Prime-like. That's what they ended up going with. I like this one too, though. The Optimus hand. It's almost like a "stop, can't we talk this out" type of pose, which is very Prime to me. And I do like that it's a full page picture of Prime, because on the box it's only about, well, it's about half that size, maybe less. So you get a really nice full page picture of that. We've got the Masters, Targetmasters, Point Blank, Sure Shot, Crosshairs, and then Coupler and Hot Rod. I always found these to be kind of funny because they just replaced the guns from the original artwork with the new Targetmasters. It's almost like they just copied and pasted. And then the double Targetmasters, Scoop, Quick Mix, and Landfill. And then some of my favorites, the Power Masters, Getaway, Joyride, and Slapdash. They should have had the little engine guy in front of them, though, doing some kind of a exciting pose with them. And the Headmasters, Chrome Dome, Hardhead, Brainstorm, and Highbrow. And the big guy gets a page all to himself, Fortress Maximus. I like that too. Junior Headmasters, got Nightbeat, Hosehead, and Siren. And then Scorponok gets his own page. Misfire, Slugslinger, Trigger Happy. Those are the Decepticon Targetmasters. And then there's the Headmasters, Apeface and Snapdragon. Along with, two more Targetmasters, Cyclonus and Scourge. And they got the copy-paste job too with their new guns. And there's Mindwipe, Weirdwolf, and Skulk Cruncher. So these are kind of going out of order, because these are the Headmasters. And we saw Scorponok a few pages back. And there's Fangry, Squeezeplay, and Horrible, the Decepticon Junior Headmasters. Needlenose, Spinister, and Quake. These are double Decepticon Targetmasters. And then Double Dealer, who is a kind of like Punch Counterpunch. He's a double agent, Power Master. And then there's Dreadwind and Darkwing, the Decepticon Power Masters, and they can combine into Dreadwing. Got a nice full page comic looking. This is the 1989 Pretenders package battle scenes. So that's a major departure from what we had seen before. They went from the beautiful, like, tapestry, classical looking artwork to a more Marvel comic look. Oh, there's an unused Pretenders logo. So the Pretenders were going to have their own logo. That's interesting. It's similar faces, but one's human, one's robotic. Then we've got the Pretender Classics, Bumblebee, Jazz, and Grimlock. More Pretenders, Landmine, Wave Rider, Chain Claw, Sky High, Splashdown, Catilla, and Groundbreaker. Not too familiar with some of these later Transformers. And then there's Longtooth, Doubleheader, and Pincher. Crossblades, Gunrunner, Vroom. And then the big guys, it's Skyhammer and Roadblock. So they were a Transformer in a Pretender shell that could transform, that could be held in a giant vehicle shell. So lots of gimmicks going on there. And there's Bombburst, Skullgrin, Submarauder, Carnivac, Iguanus, Bugly, Finback, Snarler, more Pretenders. I didn't realize they made this many Pretenders. Road Grabber, Starscream. It's interesting, where's his shell? Starscream gets a Pretender, and Thunderwing. And some more Pretenders. Bludgeon, Octopunch, Stranglehold, Birdbrain, Wildfly, Icepick. These are the, I remember these guys. I had a few of them. They're the little monster Pretenders. They combine into Monstructor. 1989 Micromasters package battle scenes. So again, the comic look instead of the more traditional artwork. A bunch of different logos through the years. Got the original one, G2, Pretender logo, Micromasters, and the 88 to 90 logo. Now we're getting into the Micromasters section. There's Countdown with Rocket Base. Real departure from the original concept of cars and trucks and jets. Hot Rod Patrol, Off-Road Patrol, Rescue Patrol, Race Car Patrol. This was all overwhelming for me. Look at all these guys. Monster Truck Patrol, Construction Patrol. So many characters. And at the time I just said I don't have the time to invest in all of this stuff and all these characters. There's a crane, a card carrier. So these Pretenders, or these little Micromasters, also came with vehicles. It was almost like Mask. Vehicles that could transform into something else. So you had the Land Shaker, or the Ground Shaker, Japanese version. That's interesting. They give you the, sometimes they give you the Takara version. So it could transform into something else. Astro Squad, more Micromasters, Missile Launcher, Micromaster Decepticons, Racetrack Patrol. These guys kind of look like the Centicons. And then the Military Patrol, Sky Patrol, Cannon Transport, Anti-Aircraft Base, Aircraft Carrier, Military Transport, Airport, Gas Station, Battle Squad, Constructor Squad. It would have been nice if these guys combined. I know some of them did. There was a Takara reissue a few years back, or maybe a couple of them, of Micromasters that could combine into a regular size Transformer, which was nice. Here's 1990s Action Masters package back. Sort of a blend between the comic book and the original realistic artwork. But that's cool, having Megatron face off against Optimus one more time. And the Action Masters. I don't know, some of you might want to turn this video off right now so you don't stir up some old memories. But here's Devastator, and that was really weird having a little Action Master the same size as the Optimus Action Master and the Bumblebee Action Master, called Devastator. So it just felt like, to me, they weren't even trying anymore. And whenever I feel like someone else isn't trying, I don't try. So that's why I largely got out of Transformers. But I did have the Armored Convoy, Prime's truck which was again very reminiscent of Mask Toys, a truck that could transform into a jet. Now I gotta say, this is actually kind of nice to be able to get a good look at some of these guys, because I did just pass over this whole thing mostly. But it's nice to have artwork of an Autobot named Rollout and Rad. There's the UK exclusive Inferno mainframe. We're using a G.I. Joe trademark, and there's Blaster and Jazz. So I do like having the Action Masters artwork, just not necessarily having the Action Masters themselves, because they're so much more posable in their artwork than the actual figures were. Good old Wheeljack, Turbo Racer, Snarl and Grimlock. It's a shame they didn't make the other three. Overrun is a cool looking bot, and his attack chopper, and the mighty Megatron with his Neutro Fusion tank. Does he look bigger than him? It's almost like the artist was trying to say, but Devastator's a giant. So try to make him a little bit bigger. There's Axer, Treadshot, Croc, Soundwave. What's really cool about some of these guys is it looks like, even though they're Action Masters and they don't transform, clearly he looks like he transformed into a car. So they did implement aspects of the design to look like they were Transformers who used to be able to transform. And that's part 2, ending with the Action Masters. And so the next time we take a look at this book, it'll be part 3, the Made in Japan section, which is something I'm really looking forward to. That's a quick look at Transformers Legacy, the art of Transformers packaging. So having fun looking through that one. And we'll also be taking a look at a bunch of other books, like I mentioned before. The Art of He-Man, some of Mark Bellomo's collector's guides. And also, let me know if you're interested in taking a look at some of these things. Toys R Us is still running in Canada, and they've been releasing some of these guides, like this Christmas guide, and these flyers. There's a nice big thick flyer at Christmas. And they're also releasing these, I think, every 2 weeks. These little newspaper-style, old-fashioned flyers. So, I've said in some of the tour videos of my local Toys R Us, they're really upping their game. They're really trying harder to bring back the old magic. And these flyers are definitely something that feels old-fashioned and old school. So, if you're interested in seeing some of these too, let me know in the comments. And we can do a flip through of those as well. And that's a quick look at Transformers Legacy Part 2, and I'll be back soon with Part 3. Thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to leave a comment below and to share the video. And to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Nerdmas Day.